Hello.
Hey.
It's episode
100.
100 and 0 because it's just 100. So let's
Yes.
that's the sound
That's
of
the
cheering.
celebration. That's celebratory.
We made it a long way. I'm not entirely sure how we made it this far because
We just kept doing it.
we really
We
just
we were
I gotta
put
be
our head
honest.
down and just said, yeah.
If I'm being totally honest with you, I lost count around 20. Once we hit 20, I was like, this is huge. We hit 20. And then we just kept doing it. And I was like, I didn't have time to think about it.
We just kept hitting 20.
And then
5 times to be exact right now.
now we're in triple digits. And it's like, wow, that came really fast.
Can you imagine when we get to quadruple digits?
Holy shit.
That's going to be...
I'll be dead by then.
we might be.
That's 900 weeks away, barring
Yeah,
any,
don't worry about it.
any foreseeable issue to where we won't be
900,
able to
what is
have
that,
a week.
18 years? That'll be fine. We can do that.
Yeah, it's actually, honestly, it's not as bad
We just can't miss a day.
that
We can't miss a Friday. But I plan to keep doing this because I like it. Because
I
we are starting a cult that's Grant Up Jake.
have
Mitch
no
is here.
plans on stopping. I do have plans on. I know something's going to come up on a Friday one day. It hasn't in 2 years, and something's going to come up on a
Well,
Friday.
we've found workarounds when that's happened. Like,
That is true.
Friday I'm going to Cancun with Ted Cruz. And then, like, we're just like, we'll record it on Thursday.
Yeah, it's true. We
know.
do have a recovery period. So. Oh yeah, it's 100. The cult has began.
100.
Jake, why don't you let us know what you got here? I'm liking this.
Well, you know what? This episode's very near and dear to us because it's 100.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to make it about something that's very near and dear to us. We're going to make this good.
Control.
What is it about? It's about cults.
We want to control your mind.
Exactly. What is a cult? Grant? What's a cult?
It's that thing you put on the horse's feet so that when it run. No.
Oh, that god-awful football team?
Yeah. No. I'm thinking. Do you want me to give you like a definition?
No, I got that. I just want
I was
your...
gonna say like I mean I know.
Well, you what? I'll read it and then let's talk about how much you agree with it or
Okay.
don't.
Okay.
A cult is a social group defined by its unusual religious, spiritual, philosophical beliefs, and or by its common interests in particular personality, object, or goal.
That's the only definition.
That's not the only one, I'm sure, but that's the first one I clicked on.
That's the dumbest definition I ever heard. You're just describing beliefs.
Yeah.
They just quantified what it means to believe.
Yeah. Religious, spiritual, philosophical, or common interests. Yeah.
Okay, so let's
A
dissect this
goal,
for a minute.
objects, personality.
I guess maybe perhaps I'm too aggressive off the bat. Maybe the word cult is used improperly. You know?
I mean, that's what a lot of like fucking scholars have talked about. Like, what is it? Like,
It's
there's a
still
lot
a
of debate on
it
like
has a
what
negative
necessarily.
connotation.
Yeah, it's used as a pejorative.
It doesn't need
Modern cults.
because I mean if you want to be real, a cult would be like Comic-Con or what Comic-Con was before it became Comic-Con.
I feel like the word cult is used as like an adjective, like just for a lot of things in just media. Now that
essentially-
media has like come into our fucking society so heavily.
It's interesting because that's
It's all
exactly
we're about.
That's exactly why we chose the name we chose, because this is a cult.
Yeah, it's a very ironic thing I just said,
And-
considering the name of the show, but it works. There's there's like cult movies, Big Lebowski.
Oh yeah,
You know,
yeah. There's all this stuff. So I guess it could be used because I mean, if you want to get technical in the way that most people would view the word cult, if you look at this definition, this describes pretty much anything that you've ever done. It's like it's a group
you
of
use your imagination,
like-minded
yeah.
individuals that all follow one thing. Yeah, that's everything.
Yeah.
That's everything.
me, you, and Mitch here are pretty much a cult of following recording on Fridays.
If you want to be honest, the entire planet is a cult because we worship the sun.
If we were
need
flowers,
it.
yeah.
We literally worship, like, we need the sun. We are a cult of the sun. That's what we are.
Yeah, but we don't respect it anymore.
It's too big. It's
Too big, too far away.
like okay, think of this in human respect, right? Like, let's say height. Someone's mediumly tall. Maybe you're not automatically intimidated by that person. If they're tall, comparatively to you, what you would see as tall, you might be a little bit intimidated. But once they cross that certain threshold of being too tall, they lose the intimidation again. If you saw a 15-foot man, you probably right away you'd have more questions than fear because it's like,
are you
what
sure?
the
Because that
fuck?
might be a sight to see.
I'm thinking like, I feel that way about the sun. You know, it's like it's too big, and we've gotten to a point where we almost can't respect it entirely, so we just disregard it completely.
All right. Well, all right. Well, there still like could be cults around it though.
Oh,
There
absolutely.
have been.
It's us,
Yeah.
the world.
Dude, a lot of people have talked about like what it might mean. But like the first guy to really kind of go into it was Max Weber. He was a sociologist from the 19th century.
You know, the dictionary guy.
The dictionary man. But yeah, he was one of the first scholars to study cults, and he coined the concept of charismatic authority, right? Which is clearly a trend through infamous cults in modern history.
Yeah,
you know,
very
we got
true.
friggin' Jim Jones, Keith Raniere, or Raniere, however it is with Nexium.
Oh yeah,
That
yeah,
shit
yeah.
going on. We got Rock Terrio, that guy up in Canada. Charisma, all right?
Can we just say the most successful cult of all, arguably the only successful cult of all time, is Scientology.
Oh, yeah, because it's
There-
still around.
It's a money making machine that just has Tom Cruise as the president of like the universe.
And it's so fucked because everyone knows exactly what's happening inside of Scientology because the people that get out and are still like celebrities. I can't remember her name, the King of Queens lady.
Yeah, Leah Remini.
Remini.
I just watched that this week actually. How
Yeah.
funny.
There's people out there like her, like with a platform saying all these things that go on within it, and it's still just like, no, it's a religion. Can't really pry.
I'd take
Can't
a
really
gamble.
get into it.
I would take a gamble and say right below them is the Mormons, but the Mormons just won't admit it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
I don't know. I feel like like you can't. Mormons are so like split up now. Like there's so many different like lines drawn. Like a lot of them still are polygamist and like there's
They're
even
right
ones that
under
live
Scientology.
like differently in like regions. It's all different. You can't really nail it down.
I might agree with Bill Schnoebel, and I think Mormons might be lizard people.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Mormons, like you'd think maybe it'd be like Baptists, but I don't know. If you're talking mainstream religions, Mormonism, they're up there with Scientology for being nuts.
Yeah. Oh, dude. All right, well, there was something there wasn't much on just like cults in general, but there was this one guy in 1978 named Bruce Campbell. Thought that was pretty cool.
Nice.
And it didn't say what he did, so it might be the Bruce Campbell.
It's just him.
It might just be him. But he claimed that cults are associated with beliefs in a divine element in the individual, like soul, self, and the true self, as opposed to the other self. Basically, transposing religions to be more focused on the individual, but
Okay.
taking like existing ones and just changing them up, calling it something else, kind of having the same structure as those, but just being a sort of a denomination, which pisses religious people off.
Yeah.
That
I can
usually
see why.
pisses them off.
It's not hard to piss a religious person off, though.
It really is.
The people that take it too seriously, they're just not fun. They don't know how to cut loose, you know? Because, I'm sorry, if I'm talking about you and you're listening to this, maybe I'm wrong about you. Any really religious person I've met, you can't even have non-religious jokes with them. They just can't handle it. They
That
don't
is
like
true.
it. I don't know. They don't work for me.
Yeah.
And of course, this would piss them off. It just makes them look bad. So,
Of course.
my point being, that is the easiest thing on this planet to do.
No, it's true.
Sleep and piss off religious people.
If you sleep too much, you could piss off a religious person.
You're goddamn right
There you go.
can.
Gluttony, or what is it? No, sloth.
Sloth.
But yeah, there's just a bunch of different kinds of cults, right? There's destructive, there's doomsday, we got political, we got polygamist, we got racist, we have terrorist. All these different kinds of cults. But
Not one of those
which-
sounded positive.
Yeah, right.
What about like happy ones? Like what about like I don't know like
No, we don't study those.
what about like I mean not that I'm saying I'm a fan of them because they are the most insufferable people, but like deadheads, you know, like crazy deadheads. They're a cult. They're happy.
They are a cult.
I'm
It's
not.
a very specific lifestyle.
Yeah, I wouldn't say they're destructive by any means. Maybe the bathrooms. I don't know, but that's
Destructives to their own psyches, but
that's a question for another day. I see. If you want to talk about the idea of what a cult is, it's kind of hard because I'm trying to wrap my head around why it immediately goes to the negative. I think it's because it's only
it's because
used in that sense.
I feel like it's because it's based on something that is so common in society now, but you change it just enough to where you're unhappy with it, but you still claim to be using the same structure. I think it's like the ritualization of things that may piss people off because they're so similar to like their religion, maybe.
Okay.
Something like that.
I see. Okay, if I were, for the purposes going forward for me, when I say the word cult, I'm gonna mean it in the sense that we're all thinking of it being a cult, right? Like in a Jonestown type of way, a Waco maybe type of way. I would add, for me, if you want to get to that level of calling yourself a cult in that manner, there has to be some form of money exchange.
Oh, very much so.
There has to be some type of hierarchy of people that are in charge, and they receive or collect money from the people below them.
Yeah.
That is a huge building block of
It's like the
any
business
cult.
of having friends.
Because if you're not utilizing money and transaction in a cult setting, you're not the kind of cult that we want to talk about. You know, you're just a group.
You're a commune.
And nowadays, like the idea of an online community, or if you're in like like a Facebook group, by definition, that's just a cult.
Yeah.
But in order for that to be like a negative cult, I would say, you gotta start paying some money.
Probably.
So donate to our Patreon
yeah.
because we're trying
There's
to
a
get
link
to that
below,
status.
actually. There's a link below.
But there's something interesting with the idea of the cult. It's like I'm trying to word this in a way that won't sound ridiculously incomprehensible.
Yeah.
How do you make an idea that people can just full-heartedly believe in? You know? How do you do that? Like, I'm using L. Ron Hubbard as an example because he's at least recently the most ideal candidate I have. He was a fiction writer.
Yeah.
And he just wrote shit, and eventually people are like, you know what? This makes sense. Like, this is where it's coming from.
Yeah. Thetan levels.
How do you even form an idea that large?
Dude, it's like that what that Max Weber guy said, man. Charisma. Charisma draws people in. If you sweet talk someone enough into a certain idea, eventually they're going to come around. And you just keep, like, banging at that fucking, that point you made into their skull, and eventually they just actually believe it.
Kind of like everybody
And they
loves
spread
Raymond.
it around. Yeah, everyone loves Raymond.
You know how everybody
Not
loves,
many people loved Raymond at the beginning.
You know how that show was, like, not funny at all, but somehow still funny because of how unfunny it was?
It's just Ray Romano's voice. That's what
It
got him
really-
a show.
Ray Romano and the brother, if those two were played by different people, that show would not have made
If they had like our voices, no, it would have never made it.
I want to know, the show Everybody Hates Chris, did they get the idea for that name because of Everybody Loves Raymond? Or was it a completely unique idea that just happened to be the
It's
opposite
just
of an
like a
existing show?
synchronicity sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't know. I don't want to say they stole it because I don't know.
I have no
that.
idea.
If anything, which came first? Actually, I really don't know which one came first.
I think everyone loves Raymond.
But nobody
pretty
loved
sure.
Raymond.
No.
And everybody hated Chris. But nobody hated Chris.
Yeah,
Everybody liked that show.
I loved
so
that show.
They had it all wrong. It should have been everybody loves Chris and everybody hates Raymond.
Well, that's where the psychology that a good cult has comes in. It's like you got to be aware of how to control someone's actions. You know, you tell us to do one thing, we're going to do the opposite.
So this is a hot button issue here.
What?
I'm gonna bring it up. and I want you guys' opinion on this here. So, with this definition we have now, and potentially even with this expanded edition that I've added with the monetary side of things, let's talk about the trifecta, which would be Christianity, Judaism, and Islam.
The Abrahamics.
They, by definition, are all cults, and by action, they're all cults.
Yeah.
So what separates? Again, you hate to go back to Scientology, but it's just the perfect example.
Yeah.
How can you objectively look at Scientology and say this is 100% fraud? I can't believe anyone would buy into this and dedicate themselves to this belief. It's stupid. But you don't say that about these three religions. Is it because it was written so recently?
Maybe it might have something to do with the timing, but I also feel like it just sheer numbers. Like people who like want to fucking believe it, and they do believe it. It took so long for the Abrahamic like religions to like be huge.
They're the everybody loves Raymond and everybody hates Chris religion.
Exactly.
They just took each other's idea and just flipped it, reversed it, and they had their own product. But Mitch, I want to. You're my like religious scholar guy. You know, the guy I go to for these types of questions. What are your thoughts? Would you classify them as cult? And if you do, yeah, why? And if you don't, why not?
Yeah.
Oh, well, this is just opening up a huge can of worms. But so the definition that Jake gave is so broad to where everything is a cult. Yeah. So if I'm trying to, square it down to something, like, okay, here's more of a, definitive answer for what a cult could be. I wouldn't say, yeah, it is like the sheer numbers. So like they are religions because of the number of people that are in them. That's one thing. Then another thing is, how violent, how manipulative they are.
Openly.
Yeah, well, openly, of course. And yeah, time has a factor in it, of course. And historically, when you look at cults weren't necessarily bad things when you look at them in a historical context. So back in the day, being in a cult wasn't necessarily a bad thing. Really, it was just a small group of people that had the same beliefs. But until they grow, that's when they become a religion. So it really depends on, what we're talking about here. If we're looking at, the definition of what a cult is in the modern world, I don't think you can really say that, like the Abrahamic religions are a cult.
Okay, all right.
I feel like that may
They've
also
expanded past cultism.
Yeah.
I could get down on that idea.
I do think that like time and numbers over time, that's how you become it. It's all over the world. Is Scientology all over the world?
Yeah.
There you go. They've made it. And I feel like in modern times, like they fucking file their taxes like a religion because they claim to be a church, and then the government's like, yeah, they're a church. That's the beginning of it nowadays,
Yeah, it's good PR to be a religion.
Good PR.
Yeah. So,
and like Christianity and all the other ones have such like they're like tenure. They've like reached tenure. It's impossible to fire them, no matter how much bad press comes out. Mm-hmm.
I'm interested in the idea of cults, and obviously with the name of the show that we have, of course we're going to have an interest in a topic like this. And I looked into certain things, and it's not particularly unique nowadays to be in what would be called a cult, some type of fringe group. One of the best off the wall examples that I was reading about was there's people out there that claim that OnlyFans is a cult, and I don't really understand why, but maybe with this definition, I kind of get it.
Yeah.
But also, you got to take it with a grain of salt. There are, but let's say, for example, that is, for our definition, a cult, okay? How many fucking people on this planet have already participated in that? I didn't realize how big this website was.
You didn't? Oh, you're not on Twitter. That's why.
No, I didn't. I was looking into it. I knew the idea of it because it's in memes and shit, and you hear about it. It's like, okay. I was looking into it. They claim to have over 100 million active users.
Yeah.
That's... What?
Yeah.
That is-
You can do anything on the internet.
Oh my goodness. That's a cult. You're literally paying money to be in it.
Yeah.
My idea has
The
shifted.
reward is like boobies.
So, let me shift gears here, okay?
Okay.
I want you guys to just sit down and relax. Those of you listening, whatever you're doing, just relax.
Pour some nice Sunny D in your glass.
Oh, sure. Sunny D is terrible, so enjoy it.
Yeah.
I'm going to take this opportunity to tell you that you've all been duped for 100 weeks.
Gotcha, bitches.
You have all been a part of this cult, okay?
All along.
And we've been keeping it under wraps because, we didn't want to spoil the surprise that you were all secretly Sogs.
Yeah, we don't
okay?
want to spook you.
And we call you Sogs because if you listen to this show, if you enjoy this show, especially if you're a patron, you're, in my eyes, you are an ordained deacon of the whatever you want to call it, the cult, the religion.
Sog.
We are the servants of Gomex, okay? And if you're a keen listener, you might know that Gomex is an ambiguous term that we've heard for years, and we never truly understood the power that it took to harness what Gomex is.
It's true.
So I did some deep diving. I did a lot of inner soul searching, astral projection. I prayed to multiple gods. I sacrificed goats. I did everything under the sun until Gomex spoke to me, and this is why we started this cult here, okay?
Yeah. I was FaceTiming him during this too.
Gomex is a cellular-like membrane similar to that of the skin of a jellyfish, and it is an omniscient entity that lives in the universe. Not the known universe, but the universe, okay? You might have wondered why space was always so big, am I right? All of you?
What business does it have being that big?
Gomex, the servants of Gomex. This water jelly-like monster that floats through the air, picture it as a giant blubbery mattress with never-ending tentacles.
Nice.
It is the collective being of humanity. Okay, and what Gomex has taught me, and what it has spread upon us on this show, and what we're here to spread upon you like peanut butter on bread, is the fact that humans evolved from apes because Gomex needed our help, okay? You might say, why? It's an omniscient mattress. Why does it need your help for? Well, I'll tell you why.
He needs our help.
Gomex needs our help because it is the collection of all human experience. And not necessarily, when I say human experience, anything that humans can observe, so can Gomex. Anything animals can observe, so can Gomex. Anything plants can observe. Any living being feeds into Gomex. And do you know what Gomex was lacking? Do you? You have any ideas, Jake?
Privacy.
Flavor.
Ah.
Gomex created humanity to give us flavor, okay? Now, I don't want to overload everybody here and tell you the entire history of Gomex because let me tell you this, I was in the hospital for 6 months. It did a number on me. It Gomexed me. I will tell you this, we are searching for Gulan. We are servants of Gomex. We must find the Gulan. We believe it's the perfect flavor that will appease the masters of Gomex. Okay?
Yeah.
What might that be, you ask? Let me explain. You need to be a patron to understand what Gulan is.
That is true.
We've discussed what potentially Guan could be.
There's a link below.
We're trying to make it. But the cult has begun, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, you're all in it. Mitch is in it. You hear this? You're in it.
Yeah.
You're in. That's how I know you're in.
We are all SOGs. We are servants of Gomex. We are SOGs.
SOGs, so are you. Welcome, fellow SOGs.
Now, I want it to be known that we are a cult. I mean, we're not a greedy cult. We're not picky.
No.
I'm gonna share. I was handed this down on the magical Google tablet from Gomex,
Ah, yes.
and he gave me the 7 recipes for a healthy existence. Okay, so these 7 recipes I'm gonna share here today with you. This is my Moses on the mountain moment, and we're going to enlighten you on the recipes to success. Now, the actual scripture of Gomex. Oh, don't worry.
Oh, that is coming.
That will come. The scripture of Gomex.
The scripture will come. If you wait, the scripture will come.
It
and
will.
Donate on Patreon.
Yes, patrons will hear the earliest chapter of the Gomex Bible, tentatively named. It's not named yet.
Patreon is basically the keys to the basement of the Vatican right now.
Yeah,
okay.
it is. And I mean, okay. Don't worry about it. You're
Don't
gonna
worry.
Learn all that. So
No. Yes.
why don't we understand here what the servants of Gomex have to do to live a healthy life in the world of Gomex? Okay. Thou shalt live every day. Actually, I should have said this before I started. I'm gonna read you the list, and then we will go back and assess the list so we can understand what the meaning of the recipe is. Do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
Okay. So, number 1, thou shalt live every day. 2, thou shalt listen to We Are Starting a Cult, the podcast. 3, respect of the planet. 4, belief is not fact. 5, creativity is a necessity. 6, don't be an asshole. And 7, never stop learning. These are the 7 recipes for a successful Gomex life.
Stirring it up.
So, when you say thou shalt live every day, what do you mean by that? Huh? You're saying, Reverend Grant, what do you mean by that? That makes no sense. Father Jake, I can't understand what you mean by this.
I'll help you, youngie.
If we ever want to achieve Gulan as a humanity, as a species, as a being, we have to experience the world. And since Gomex is a collective compilation of all that is experienced in the world, it is obviously most important to live your life every day, have an experience.
Yeah. Brings you closer to Gomex.
Add something to the databank that is Gomex, the proverbial metaphorical iCloud. And once you do something, it uploads directly to it. You're helping expand the knowledge of humanity. Okay? Thou shalt listen to We Are Starting a Cult. That one's a pretty given
It's
one.
pretty straightforward.
We're a pretty great show, and we're the 2 prophets of Gomex.
It's true.
So, I mean, if you really want to know more about how to, partake and join us in Gomex, don't worry. You're going to have to listen to the show.
Yeah.
Respect the planet. So this one's interesting. This is not about this is not an environmental one per se, but it can be. It really Gomex wants everyone to be peaceful, you know? So essentially what we're doing with this, it's a little bit of an iffy one. I'm going to read you the direct definition from Gomex.
Let's hear.
Respect the planet. This includes everything and everyone on the planet. Disagreements are best solved through critical thinking and peaceful resolution. Education is humanity's forgotten best friend. This excludes vegans. I'm not entirely
Excluding
sure
vegans,
as to why Gomex excluded vegans, but
super weird.
who are we to question the power of
Who are we
Gomex?
to question I guess that's just we have to do that.
Then we have belief is not a fact. Gomex does not want you living your life, whatever decision, whatever I can't even speak, I'm so excited.
Oh, God.
Whatever you are thinking and you believe in, just because you believe it doesn't mean that it's the universal truth for everybody else out there.
It's true.
So don't make it that way.
Yeah.
Gomex wants everyone to have their own experience different from yours.
Gomex for all is different, therefore.
Mm-hmm.
Be yourself.
There are, perhaps Gomex has a plan. Perhaps Gomex wants you to experience Gomexy things
There could
together,
be, yeah,
and that will be provided through Gomex.
yeah,
It's-
twists of Gomex fate.
Don't worry. Creativity is a life-sustaining issue. Okay?
Issue, huh?
Not necessarily. If you don't use it, it'll be an issue.
There you
know
go.
why? This goes back to Gomex. Gomex needs new things. It collects failures. It collects things that work. Everything you do is in Gomex. So it's the
true.
blueprints to everything that's ever been in Mother Nature.
Or possibly could be once you do it, once you create it.
And that's why creativity is so important. because
Exactly.
Even if you are creative and you fail at being creative, you have served Gomex.
You have served Gomex.
You have given him what he needs, or she.
Yeah.
It is an ambiguous creature. Nobody knows. Don't be an asshole.
Also pretty
That's
straightforward.
pretty gosh darn straightforward. I'll read it to you as well, just to clarify.
Okay.
This one's relatively simple. Just be nice and treat people with respect. Upon disrespect, revert to recipe 3. Should recipe 3 fail to apply, decide the next action based upon your own free will. So what this is saying is if we revert back to 3, the one about respecting the planet and peaceful resolution, Gomex is asking you to try first peacefully resolving the issue, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And if that one does not work, then you have to understand that whatever you are going to do is your own free will. So, it's not a universal truth. That's what you're doing. You have to understand that. And it will be somebody else's free will to react to your reaction.
Yeah.
So, you're taking your life in your own hands. You are disregarding the 7 recipes. And we're allowing for some gray area because Gomex understands the nuance of, humanity.
Yeah.
And then the final recipe is to learn everything. This one is important because Gomex believes that if you only have half of the story, you might as well not have the story at all. What is the point of knowing 1/3 or 1/2 of the information without knowing the rest? It's useless. It's pointless. It serves nothing. Okay?
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
For Gomex Premium members, there is an 8th recipe, and that is to donate to the We Are Starting a Cult Patreon page. That one, again, completely unnecessary. It's not included in the actual recipes. It is what we're calling the premium package.
Yeah.
That one's not necessary. But the seven recipes,
The 7 recipes are things to live by.
these will give you a good life. Now, let me just entice you slightly further with Gomex. Okay, are you ready?
I think Gomex has something planned for you.
You might be wondering, what are we looking for again? You said something about this goulan. Goulan is a condiment. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that. And we have not achieved that condiment yet here
Highly
on Earth.
sought after, yes.
But once we do, it is believed that us SOGs will be lifted up immediately through wormholes into the 7th dimension. And we will join Gomex in a game of interstellar ping pong. And the winner, humanity or Gomex, no one knows.
No one knows.
But we all go to the same after party, so it's fine. We're hanging out with Gomex.
Yeah.
It's all good. We get everything.
It's the equivalent to the pearly gates, but there's stuff to do.
Yeah, it's an activity.
Yeah.
You get to have fun.
You get to do it with the guy.
Now, I know what you're all thinking. You're listening to me, and you think we're insane, right? You couldn't be farther off.
Are we so insane?
We're actually quite sane. The reason we waited 100 episodes to let you guys know that this is our purpose on this planet was because, I don't know, we didn't want you to think we were weird.
Yeah. We wanted to, we wanted to know you guys are real deal. And those with you that have stuck with us from the beginning, thank you, and here's your reward.
Yeah, pretty much. You are a cult member.
You are.
Now,
Make no mistake of it, you are in a cult.
with all that effectively being said, Jake and I are your interdimensional Sherpas that will guide you through the light into the afterlife.
Come take my hand. I'm the Gomex Bodhisattva.
Yes, you might know us by our names of Grant and Jake, respectively. But our real names are Reverend Grant and Father Jake. You didn't know that, did you?
Didn't know that, huh?
You didn't. That's my legal first name is Reverend.
I didn't know I was a father, but
you are.
Here we go.
So with this effectively being said, we love you for being in our cult because I don't know what we would do if we didn't have this cult. We'd probably go
it's
insane.
True. We would yeah. We wouldn't be doing Gomex, that's
Now,
for sure.
I want a first-hand response. Mitch, you are here. You're a close member of, the cult here. You're a SOG. What are your opinions learning that after all this time you've actually been in a cult?
Gomex is the cure.
It is also the disease.
Yeah, it's also the disease. That kind of ties into the cosmic ping pong.
Mm-hmm. You can't have one without the other.
Yeah, exactly.
Comet ping pong.
Oh my
oh
god.
My god.
Oh my god.
I'm so happy that this news is out. Like you guys
finally
can't comprehend. Jake, what are your thoughts here? How are you feeling about us releasing a cult to the masses? We're telling them.
I'm very glad that we finally decided to tell them because we've been talking about this for a while. Because you know what, Gomex has always been around. But yeah, I'm just excited for everyone to be here, all our cult members to know who they are. No, it feels good, man. Feels good. 100 episodes, are you kidding me?
It does feel good.
It feels really good. Triple digits.
It's really, don't worry. Even though you are in a cult now, we're going back to the scheduled programming, next week. We just wanted
to let you know.
We wanted to have some fun with the idea of us hitting 100, because who thought we would get here,
Who fucking would have thought?
We're all just a bunch of SOGs, and we're doing it together.
Yeah.
We're sailing on a molten rock through a Gomex-ridden land, searching for the right amount of gulon to put on our mashed potatoes so we can get to the homeland.
Which is also Gomex.
It's very simple. I don't understand why you're not following me.
There's nothing hard about it. And there doesn't have to be, because Gomex is all.
Because you guys don't get it, okay? It's Gomex. It's everything that's ever been.
You don't understand. That's just Gomex.
You wouldn't understand. But, in all honesty, I really cannot believe we made it to 100. I almost said 40.
To 40. No, yeah, dude. It's fucking amazing. Thank you guys for listening. Everyone. All the times that you've listened. Even if this one's the first time, wouldn't that be crazy?
That would be. You guys.
Oh, dude, they get the special treatment. They just know from the get-go.
Ooh.
Ooh. But no, seriously, everyone who listens to us, thank you. Especially our patrons. You guys rock. Become a patron. Link below. Gomex is everything that we need, but what we need first is Gulon.
That's very true. And I'll tell you this. When David Huggins was episode 1, I believe we talked about this last week.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I never thought we'd cross this threshold, but here we are. We've made it. You guys have made it possible. I don't know how that's possible.
It's great.
I
am just beside myself, stoked. And we're gonna keep going.
We are.
We're gonna keep going.
We are. I'm in a great mood about this. We have
Me too.
We have exactly 900 episodes left. we put an end date on
or
the
maybe
show.
other thought of not doing. We'll still keep going.
We have 900 more to get through, so we have a bunch of crazy shit we got to talk about.
Join us.
Join
for
us.
Those next 900.
Definitely. The first 100, I can honestly say we picked a lot of different episodes. We really did. We tried to cover. I'm going to let you in on a little insider secret, okay, about us, about the cult.
About us.
Initially we wanted to stick to the format of we like true crime, we like ghosts, we like aliens, and we like cryptids, and then we like the weird outlying wild just conspiracies. We liked the idea of keeping that pattern, keeping a nice distance, so you're not bogged down with 5 true crime stories and 3 of this. It's nice and gradual, you know.
Yeah, we came up with our own algorithm that was just kind of like us, like, we haven't done that in like 3 weeks. Let's do that.
Yeah. So when we started doing that, it feels like so long ago, but it really wasn't.
Yeah.
And
that was one of the first like structured things that we really put in.
yeah,
Because along the way, listening back from episode 1 to now, we definitely tightened some shit up.
oh, absolutely.
Like
We've hit our stride.
There were a couple of. So remember, we were making a hot sauce. What was that? We can't do that. What are you shitting me?
Yeah, looking into like the
But,
FDA approval on that was such
Yeah,
a
it's
rigmarole.
just it's just error and trial and error, you know. And now
We
we're
made
here. I feel like we're doing well.
We made it pretty far.
Yeah.
I'm very proud of us. I'm more proud of the fans. I don't know how you guys listen to this.
Yeah. What the fuck?
I don't know how people listen to me. I just yell at this to people at the street, and I'm just like, "Hey, you! I'm gonna tell you about Gomex," and they usually run away from me. But you guys,
Yeah. Everyone runs.
you guys come to me. You're like, what the hell? Oh man, we love you guys.
Yes, we do. Reverend Grant and Father Jake.
That's me.
Yeah.
I'm
We love you
Grant.
guys. We are the podcast. We are starting a cult. That's still going to be the name.
It is.
But we will forever be devoted to Gomex.
We are the Gomex group now. The GG's Gomex group.
Yeah.
We love you all.
Yes.
We will be back
Thank
next
you
week.
all for
Thank you for the 100 episodes.
100, yes.
And get ready to ride out 900 more with us. Because
Exactly.
we're going on a magical journey
It's true.
through Gomex.
Gomex. And while you're at it, maybe follow us on all the shit.
Oh, yeah.
We got Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. We also have an email. We would love to get an email from you saying just God knows what, who cares. Startacult@gmail.com. That is our email. And there is a link below for the Patreon. We love you guys. We still have a bunch of shirts and stuff. And yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes.
We do. You know, we do. We do. Let us know if
We
you want
do.
a shirt. We got shirts. We're here, so let us know. All right, guys. I love you all.
I also love you all.
Praise be Gomex.